Hola! This is a way to learn Spanish for the young and the young at heart. When you're first learning Spanish, you can learn vocabulary words. You want to know how they sound, how to read them, and even how to write them. Writing them could be fun if you just do little no-pressure things and you can learn a lot of words, but you're not going to know how to put the words together until you know phrases. You can use a grammar textbook or workbook to learn grammar rules and put the words and phrases, and that knowledge will not transfer to real life. You will not be a good conversationalist. You will not understand oral Spanish. You will not be able to read a newspaper or a book. So it has limited usefulness. Duolingo is free, and you get to hear the words and do a lot of translating. So, at best, your results will be just okay for a beginner. It's not going to get you fluent, not even close. What about Rosetta Stone? If you are like me, you believed their marketing 100% and thought Rosetta Stone would get you fluent all by itself. If anyone who watches this knows anybody who learned a language from Rosetta Stone, please leave a comment. I want to see a video of someone speaking English who learned it only from Rosetta Stone. I've never seen anyone even claim they became fluent from Rosetta Stone. And Rosetta Stone claims that they make people fluent. I want to say, just go ahead and use Duolingo and don't spend your money on Rosetta Stone. But let's take a look at Rosetta Stone and see what it's like.
Hola.
Hola.
Una niña. Un niño.
Una niña.
Un niño.
So, Rosetta Stone is a bunch of sentences that don't go together to say anything. It's not a rhyme, it's not a song, it's not a story, it's not nonfiction information that would be of interest to you. It's a bunch of sentences. And this is going to get very boring for you, and your children will not stick with it and enjoy it either. This is not natural. This is not natural immersion. Because in natural immersion, things have context. You don't just hear a bunch of random sentences, but everything comes together to have a real message. So what does have rhymes and stories and nonfiction information that's interesting to you? There is no course. That's the answer. Comprehensible input is the answer. It's the only way. See an example of comprehensible input.
La cebra es blanca y negra, blanca y negra. La cebra es blanca y negra.
You may not have understood every single word, but you got the gist of it. And that is a great example of comprehensible input. Cartoons. Another example is on a website called Spanish Playground. There are free lessons that are called picture talks. It'll show you a picture and it will give you a paragraph or so to read that describes the picture, and then it has questions that use the same words in the description. And to answer the question, all your child will need to do is point or say yes or no, or maybe say a number. So it's not very difficult. This is an example of very easy, comprehensible input. Once you get past that really easy stuff, then you can move on to harder things like books by and for native speakers.
Porque José era obediente.
You can hang out with native speakers. If hanging out with them in real life is too difficult or inconvenient, do it online. So to recap, learn vocabulary words. You've got to learn phrases. You've got to use comprehensible input. There's no other way. Some examples of comprehensible input are easy cartoons, easy songs, the lessons on Spanish Playground that are free, that are called picture talks, that have a bunch of questions, and books by native speakers and for native speakers. There's There's more than one way to skin a cat. You don't absolutely have to use this method that I have in my video, but you've got to use comprehensible inputs. That's the only way. And language courses usually are quite light in the comprehensible inputs. A bunch of random sentences is not gonna do it. You've got to really get into the real language, the real deal. I hope you understand. If you enjoyed this video, please leave me a comment. Hasta luego.